How the Last Bookstore Was Saved by ComicTales by Zoe Karageorgiou and Trano Education.
In the year 2121, in a city where everything is ultra-modern and magnificent, on the 18th floor of a skyscraper, it is Saturday night in the living room of Grandmother Evdokia. Evie and her friends are anxiously waiting because today it is her birthday. Her grandmother promised to tell them a different story this time.
Once upon a time, in our city there was a bookstore. Very unique and different.
What is a bookstore, Grandma?
It is a store that sells books. The books were made of paper. The writers printed on them their imagination in words, as you now do with your finger in the air.
They taught us that at school. They said they used pencil, eraser and ink.
Exactly.
But, Grandma, why was it different?
Because it was magic.
Why was it magic?
How do you know it?
My grandmother confided it in me. I've got some photos somewhere. Oh yes, look! The one here with the red hair is my grandmother. But were there mermaids then? I will tell you everything. A century ago, around 2021, in Written Dream Street, there was the bookstore that I was telling you about. The bookseller was my grandfather, and when I grew up, my grandparents shared the big secret with me. The bookstore was magical.
Ha! There is no such thing as magic. Only technology exists.
That's what you think. As soon as the store closed, when my grandfather and my grandmother were children, a long time before they owned the store, they used to hide there and choose a book.
In which book will you travel today?
In the book with the magic mermaids.
Then one page opened randomly, and all of a sudden she was lost in her story.
My magic mermaids, I'm here! Mrs. Evdokia, now that Evie has grown up, could you tell us something more adventurous and realistic?
There is nothing more realistic and adventurous than the magic bookstore, but since you don't believe me, I will stop. After all, it's time for the candles.
The same night, the children dreamed that they were in the magic bookstore. The next morning, after they talked about the weird dream they had had,
Guys, the only solution is to go to Written Dream Street and see for ourselves if the bookstore is still there.
Okay, but I don't believe in magic.
Yes, we know. Only in technology.
a little later, a surprise awaited them.
It is damaged and scary. I'm afraid to go in.
Ha ha ha! Cowards!
If it was magical, it would be fine. Panos is probably right, isn't he?
Suddenly,
Ahem! Bless you!
Who is there?
Who are you and what are you looking for?
the children could not believe their eyes when they saw the magic book.
I bet it is a reflection, or some mechanism, or an hologram. And yet I'm just a book.
Panos went to touch it timidly, but...
Hey, what are you doing? We don't touch unknown objects. It is amusing.
My good book, what happened here?
It's a long story, but you haven't told me what are you looking for here?
Evie's grandmother told us... Mary!
Are you Evdokia's granddaughter?
Do you know my grandmother?
I met her when she came here as a little girl with my dear friend. But you know everything. There's no need to tell you more.
We certainly don't know anything. Do you want to tell us what happened?
Many years ago, it was decided that technology would be the solution to everything. Ha! Isn't it?
No!
It was said that it can give ideas, motivate the imagination, shorten distances, solve any problem. Then everything became digital. Traveling, lessons, games, theater, music, concerts, painting. The mind gradually got used to rapid changes, images, windows. The hand forgot the use of the pen and the pencil. It trusted the keys and the screen. The man who owned the bookstore...
My grandmother's grandfather!
Yes, he was a man of great education and a great heart. He tried hard so that the books would not be damaged. But this made some people angry, and so one night the bookstore was set on fire.
But why did the books annoy them?
I'm starting to wonder too.
How were you saved, my good book?
We were playing hide and seek, and I was hidden in this chest. So, when the explosion happened, I was the only one to survive. How was the chest not burned? It could become invisible in case of danger.
And now what?
One has to rewrite the stories from the beginning.
Well done, Panos. You gave the best idea.
Really?
We will write the stories and recreate the books.
Do you really mean it?
That night, the three friends promised to work together to recreate books with fantastic adventures, magical stories, and fairy tales. They also asked for their grandmother's help, which turned out to be very important. What happened was so fantastic that those who read books, and especially those who read fairy tales, understand it.
And that's how we are here today in 2121 in front of the last bookstore that was saved.
These are some snapshots from the 3 kids' stories. Could you imagine and write a story on your own? The digital book can be found on tranoeducation.gr. This is an animation story for the International Book Day on 2nd of April. For more ideas, you can see the description below this video. I wrote down some educational pages with interesting stuff. I hope you enjoyed.